everyone. Welcome to Small Talk. Well, I have a guest with me today, and I'm going to let him introduce himself because I have a problem with names, as some of you know. I can remember his first name is Ira.
Yes.
And Lecoy.
Lecoy, yeah. So, hi, my name is Ira Lecoy. Lecoy comes from Manitoba. Comes from my dad's name. It's a reserve out there called Sagin, and my Homoxqui down here is Pexwiltn, and it comes from my mom's dad's brother named Roger Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Ira makes drums. He also sings, right?
Yes.
And then you also have a story you want to share with that. So first of all, let's.
Well, I could.
Yeah. If you're comfortable with it, what do you want? Let's talk about your drum first. Show us your drum because I think it's beautiful.
Yeah. So.
And I love drums.
So this right here is a drum that I made for my spouse, but this is a 16-inch, but we use it a lot, like when we do a lot of the singing that we do for our people, and a lot of the ceremonies that we do.
How did you get the color?
So, like, what I used was the dye that we could get from nut fabric stores, and like what I do is I just I get the hide in the water and I get it like nice and soft, and then I mix the dye in with the water.
Okay.
And I just stick it on there, and however it turns out, it's always going to turn out the way that it is, right? So,
yes.
But I know the drums go back to from when I was a kid. What my grandfather used to speak to me about like holding the drum is that I had to wait, I had to wait wasn't able to just grab a drum, like I had to learn a lot about it first.
Okay.
But
what kind of hide do you use?
This one right here is a buffalo hide, I believe.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, and then like a lot of this right here it's like the new contemporary style. Like we don't use the old hide anymore. I don't know. It's just the way that the time switches, right? And I just do my little work right here but the story behind the drum too, like what we call is a cowlick, right? Like this is what we do as men, for our people, and like we just help to heal, like with the songs that we sing, and I'm really thankful, for our ancestors back in the day, like they really have fought hard to, for us to still have this in our hands.
Right.
Hands.
I think considering all the drawbacks that they had to go through,
yes.
The fact that you're still here doing this is tremendous, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it
right.
is.
So if you like when you become like I know you shared with me a video with you singing and drumming. Yeah. So is that at a certain age you do that, or can anybody do it?
Yeah. Well, yes. Yes, it all depends on like who the individual is, because a lot of times it's the person that gets drawn to like what they're gonna do.
Okay.
And there's like people that have come into this life and they just have that spirit to like where they wanna, show and be that person that uses the drum.
Right.
And so like once they connect with them, their spirit, eventually all of this comes, and it will come because like, they will always do their best to be there with the people and to speak to their elders about our ways of the drum.
Somebody explained to me why the drums get to you so much. That it's considered the mother's heartbeat, right?
Yes, basically, yeah. It's like what like we call that is the heartbeat of the Mother Earth. Right?
Oh, okay.
Right, because like it all connects to the heartbeat of the Mother Earth. And, how do I say that?
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just thinking about in today's world, like you have your culture, your from your ancestors, and yet you must struggle at the same time. Not you personally, maybe, but because we live in this different kind of world than your ancestors did. You can't do everything like they did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just because of the way the world is set up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Politicians set it up, or whatever. I could go on about that one, but
And I think I understand like what you're speaking about there. Like without that strive or whatever, like we would like not be able to. Well, like if we had it all, and if we had all of the answers, we would like not be doing this anymore. Right. So like if we didn't have that struggle and that strive to where, like we could not use these as a tool to where it helps bring out those tears and it helps for the people to heal. We would not have any of this, but a lot of it was, and how we still do is there's a lot that we keep secret, sacred. Like we don't display it on YouTube or anything like that. But there is a lot that we do let out, that we could share. But
there's still some things that they're so sacred that you keep it to yourselves.
Yes, and that's the only way that we're going to be able to keep it alive for the generations down the road. So
absolutely.
And I just gotta be thankful, for the trees, for the water, because that's where we go to hear these songs. Like we don't just hang out in the room and stick on a video and sit there and like think, okay, I'm gonna make a song. Like it all stems out from being connected with the Mother Earth still. And that's where that comes from.
Okay.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, it's like a little story about strife, like when my mom left was like when the COVID hit. Right. So like I was able to go to the mountain and I heard a song and I put it out there, what's like this, right? Like, this right here means a lot to me. I got the beads here. They all come from my dad.
Is that right?
Yeah, but these beads at the end here represent my mom because they're red and black, and there's only a little bit that I can speak on that, but those colors represent her, and so these being my dad's beads, and then I got some smudge from him too. So I stuck it in there. So like this like represents my mom and my dad.
Very nice. Yeah.
And I always like take it around everywhere, and I ask for strength for
Right.
like just to keep me going.
Right.
Um,
Now explain to me about your vest here.
yes, so like these are like what we use. This one right here was actually made for when I went, uh, when we were gonna have, well, we had my mom's memorial,
Mm-hmm.
and this was used to, or made to like represent that day.
Ah, okay.
For like when I was to like I was able to like say my last goodbye to my mom, right? And I was able to,
Yeah.
just break free from holding on so much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to, and that's what this is going to represent.
Very good.
Like ever since
Right.
that moment,
Right.
and like we just had that about 2 months ago now, I believe.
Oh, so it's very soon. That's not very long.
Well, no, but like we have waited 4 years to have
Okay.
the memorial, and
Is there a reason for that?
yeah. Well, like we just like it just gives us our time to grieve,
Okay.
and then after like the fourth year, that's when we bring out the pictures again,
Okay.
and we could stick one up on the wall again,
Oh.
and I look at it and I'd be like, okay, well, everything's gonna be okay now, right? And that's the reason why we take our time with that. Like we don't just have a memorial for a person just like a week after they pass.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just the way of our Huilmuch people, right? So
Okay.
us as a people,
Right.
that's just how we handle that.
Okay. I hadn't heard that before ever, so it's really interesting to me. Like when my husband passed, I waited 6 months only for a specific reason because his son lives in Austria, so I was waiting for the time that he could be there and his sister, but otherwise it's like very short, very short term. But everybody does a little different.
Yeah, and everybody has their own ways,
Mm-hmm.
and like they will handle it like the way that they handle it, and like a lot of our ways, like it actually stems off from our moms, my mom's mom. Like there's legacies that they have that that are actually passed on to the male because
Okay.
like without our moms, like we would not be here.
Yeah.
And if we were to go back to how it was like we would have our moms' last names.
Oh, was that right, eh? Okay.
Yeah, because of like what they are, who
Okay.
they were,
Mm.
and a lot of like what we do, it all stems out from our moms and our grandmas, right?
Right.
And us, like we are just men, like we are just the arms and the legs, but like without them, a lot of the legacies that we do our best to keep alive today, it all stems out from the mother,
Right.
from the Mother Earth too. So like this way that we have to carry our dad's names, I think that actually comes from like something different from how 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 the government works.
Yeah. Yes.
And all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
for sure. Yeah.
But it would not be in our way if like we were to go back to that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wow. So can I just mention, and you don't have to talk about this if you want, that the fact that you're here, you spilled on your hoop. The fact that you're here, I don't mean here at my place, but here with your spirit and everything, is you've gone through quite a journey, right?
Oh yes, yes. Oh yeah, like when it like if I didn't go through what I experienced in my life, I would not be able to do what I do. You know, like with the drums and all that. Like I don't know, like when I was a kid, it like wasn't all that. It wasn't all that great either. You know, because
Yeah.
you know what growing up in a foster home.
Oh, you did, eh?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I don't know, like there's a lot of things that happened, but yeah,
Who was that?
well, like there is like been like a lot of stuff that's been happening like that too, like right there, like there's, oh yeah,
Listen, I have experiences like that too, so I get it,
yeah,
right?
yeah, so yeah, like everything that happened, you know, like when like I could actually remember when I turned 13, my mom, she took me to this park and we had a cake. And my mom asked me, like, she goes, make a son, or make a wish, son. You know, I was like sitting there thinking, and I didn't even hesitate, but I said, Mom, I wish I could move in with my grandma, right? Because I don't know, it's a lot of stuff that was happening was really unstable,
Right.
was really unstable back then. So, and when I did the move in with my grandma, uh, her her man, his his name was Roland Leon, and his Indian name was Cicelo. And but so when I moved in there, I started to sing on the big drum,
Okay.
and that's where like my life started off. I started to go to the powwows and sweat lodges and all that back then. And like you know, I met a spouse back then, and this is over. I would have to say 25 years ago,
Okay.
right? And I just that's when I started to have kids too,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I have 6 kids.
You have 6?
6 kids.
Well, okay.
And they're all with the one ex-spouse now.
Same mother, yeah.
Yeah, and like they're all doing really good now. You know,
Oh, nice.
like they all go to school, and they all work, and they all have their own jobs. And they even have their own homes. You know.
Good for them. And good for you as a parent, father.
Yeah, yeah. So like if I didn't like make that wish and that change that I did at that time, this would all not be here. You know?
Interesting, eh? Yeah.
And it's a really powerful thing to even like think about. You know, like I still get the goosebumps all up until this day. But yeah, like if I wasn't to make that one choice, you know, I would not be the man who I am today, and I would not and I would not even have my Indian name. You know.
Right. Yes.
So.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to interrupt for a second because there's been a lot of noise.
Yes.
We're in the lounge over the building where I live, and a letter carrier came, and she opens the mailbox and it goes slam, slam, slam. So sorry about that.
Yes.
I hope it didn't interfere with
with
when you're speaking. I hope people can still hear what you have to say.
Yes.
So if that stuff happens when you live in a building, it would have been quieter up at my place.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't sure if you had enough room, just because I want to make sure that we could see your drums. I want to make sure that we could see what you're wearing and that you get a chance to talk about those things, right?
Yeah. And and me, all up in until this day, like a lot of this, like, it's actually a teachings that I got from, like from really, really close friends of mine
Mm-hmm.
that ain't here
Okay.
anymore,
Right.
and I still like think about them all up until this day, and like when I do these, like these different ceremonies, I always like listen to them, right? And I just imagine, like, if like they were here, they would still be like wanting to sing and use that voice,
Yeah.
right? So and like when I get up in the morning, I'm just really thankful to still be here and to still have the opportunity to use my voice to help with the people because that's what they would have been doing too
Right. Yeah.
if they were still here.
Right. I just felt, I posted this one day that, I think like my ancestors came from Europe and they came
Yeah.
here and they just, like, I don't know personally, I don't know any personal stories, but they came here and just gave them the right to take whatever they wanted from
Yes.
your people. But the
Yes.
fact that your people are still here, that you're here,
Yeah.
says something about your spirits being so strong.
Mm.
I think about that a lot, right?
Yeah.
And I have so much respect for that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I actually thought about that a couple of times in my life to where it's like I could see that the people in this world of today are scared about who's gonna have the next power.
Yeah, right.
But me, it's just like I just like think like, well, like we don't really think like that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's over like years and years and years of like like we're not. Well, it's like I would have to say 1,000 years back or whatever to where like we're just really really a calm and respect and staying connected to the Mother Earth and like we don't have that to worry about who's gonna have the power next, right? But I know that the voices of our people like have to be heard
Mm-hmm.
a lot more, but I know that like we know that we're gonna be okay.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Do you think that your people's voices are being heard more or less, or do you think there's any change?
Oh yeah, man. Like they like I don't know like from like what I see with the kids, like they're starting to come up a lot stronger than like what we had
Right,
back in our day,
right.
and it's all because of the education, the system now. Like all that stuff is way more different than what we had, you know.
Plus, the whatever trauma your parents went through that passed on, so hopefully your children are not suffering that same, because we tend to pass on
Yeah, well,
without realizing it, right?
yes, and that is a very interesting what you just spoke there is that like my mom is a residential uh,
School survivor.
survivor,
Mm-hmm.
and but so like when like she went in there, um, and I will actually speak this, but yeah, she had a really bad experience in there. Like
Yeah.
I know that she had issues that happened with like before the priests and all that, and I remember her doing her what do you call it the paperwork and like she was explaining her story on there, and I was just like, wow, and I was able to connect, all of that abuse that
Right.
that was coming out of her, and I do know that like they have compression of that will will that will go down on me and my kids.
Yeah. Right.
And I know that they won't be able to understand why and where like the feelings that they get actually would come from. But it is like I know that that's there, but I will always be here to help them to understand if they ever have any questions why they feel that way that they do.
Yeah, yes, it's important for them, like if they can ask it, you know. I mean, there are like I'm hearing more and more about deniers, people who want to deny the residential schools. Of course, there's never an indigenous person at that side. It's always, somebody with European descent, and I was thinking about that, and I was wondering if it's because they worry about being blamed or held accountable, which like somebody says, stop blaming us. Are you blaming me personally?
No.
Of course not, right? And
No.
I know this, but for some reason, some people think, oh yeah, if we admit it, somehow we're going to be held responsible. But I think admitting what our ancestry does is healing for you and for me. That's the way I look at it. You know, right?
Yeah, and it just has to, like, it has to look like the stories have to keep on. But people have to keep on doing what they're doing, and that's talking.
Like, yes.
Just keep on talking.
Right.
And like the way that I see it is that stuff will just get more lighter with the people. And usually when it comes to individuals that I speak to, like they're holding on to a lot.
Yeah. Right.
And they use, alcohol or drugs, and I know that they're not dealing with, with that, right? And like there's going to be a lot of that still. So
right.
and
yeah,
and it is going to happen like the way that it is, and but most of the people that like we are like that we're going to do our best to help them understand.
Right. Absolutely. Yes.
That like, we don't have to keep on living like that. Like we do have to learn to cope with how it is now and how like the world is, and we have to learn to understand that we do have the tools and we do have the people that we can speak to. Right?
And we're living side by side,
Yes.
basically, right?
Yes.
So how do we learn to get along and respect each other?
My grandpa, like he used to speak to me about that, and he was like, don't ever, don't ever go against those people. We have to learn to walk with them, and we have to, learn to work together.
Right.
Because that's just the only way that we can coexist.
Right. Yeah.
And it will open opportunities too. But he basically was explaining to me that don't ever be a racist in any way like that. Because like we all have like something to give to one another. And it ain't like the old days, to where it's like, okay, well, we give you guys a turkey or whatever, or I don't know like how like that works, right? Or even like with the blankets and all that, but yeah, like that's just the way that I get on like what he was speaking about back then, and there's a lot of people that I meet that are really great people. Like when I go to AA meetings and all that, like I meet people from all kinds of races, and they're all like really beautiful people, and they all have really awesome stories that help me, in my life.
Right. You know, I think anybody, like I struggle with food. I have to watch all the time.
Yes.
You know, and that's my addiction
Yeah.
that I have to be conscious of all the time, right?
Food is an addiction.
Yeah.
And it is a drug.
I agree, and I've been heavier, and you know, and it's like, oh my gosh. So I understand addiction.
Yeah.
I really do, you know. And I've had addicts in my family, who are drug addicts, and you know, alcoholics, and all that thing. And it's always that trauma that they're not dealing with,
Yeah.
right? Because it's really hard sometimes to look at it because of the pain they don't want to feel.
Yeah.
But I've learned that when you look at the pain, again, when you can look at it, it helps you start to deal with whatever that addiction is and
Yeah.
realize that you can get through the pain
Yes. Yes.
better without
You can.
the drugs, whether it's the food or the alcohol, whatever, right?
You can. Yeah, you can. And I'll be honest, like right now, like, you know, I have struggled with alcohol a lot throughout my life.
Is that right, eh?
You
Yeah.
know, and like how like you were speaking about, like, you know, the day past of my mom and what like she went through, how it could actually keep on going down.
Yeah.
They lied.
Yeah.
So like a lot of like what I did is I remember I spoke to my spouse back then, and I explained to her, like, you know, I want to break the chain.
Mm.
Like, I don't ever want to be an abuser to my kids,
Right.
like, in any way. So a lot of like what I did is I always stayed isolated, and I would always go hide in the corner, wherever it was, you know, and I would use alcohol.
Mm.
And the only person that a lot of that abuse would be going out on would be me.
Right.
And I really hurt myself, man, in my
Sure.
past.
Sure.
In my past, I went down, you know, and it was quite the, you know, experience, right?
Yes.
And but if I never went through these experiences, I would not have the strength of today too.
You're here.
Yes.
Like, I don't mean, I'm not talking about my place, but you're here physically. Your being is here. And I think you did something really wonderful,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You know, so I admire that.
Yeah.
Because, again, anybody who's had addiction knows how difficult it is to walk away from it.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
here you are.
And yes, if there ain't a day that I do not think about it, you know, like
Yes.
it's always there.
Yeah.
But it's like I understand now that it's all about their choices, right?
Yeah.
And it's all about the people that you put around you too. And lately, the past, I would have to say 3 years or so, you know, like I've been sticking different people around me, and like they actually been like helping me to get out of my shell, you know, like that I was in, because like I could only see like this back then.
Right. Yeah.
But
With your blinders on, right?
now,
Yeah.
now like I'm a little bit more open.
Yeah. Good.
But I ain't like 100%, but that's okay, because if I was 100%, I would not be here.
It's a process.
Because I know that the Creator would say, well, you know, he's okay now. He's 100%, and he had made it. So like with me, like I think it's the strive and the hardship and the struggle that actually keeps us here. I know that's just the way that that's just the way that I can see it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Well, I think we're going to end it there if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's okay.
So the audience, you've been listening to Ira Lecoy Pexwiltn. Pexwiltn. I almost had it there. Had it there. I want to thank you very much for being here and talking with me. I really do appreciate it.
Yes.
And it's wonderful to meet you in person.
Yeah.
And to the audience, thank you very much for watching the show. I hope you continue to do so. Take care, everybody, and peace out.
Have a good day.
I have to get up to turn it off.